Hi, I'm Aaron, and welcome to the Slim, Fitty, and Biggie Committee podcast, where me and my best friends, Danny and Matt, take a deep dive into hip hop, the genre that has formed an integral part of our lives. Please like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram at _Slim, Fitty, Biggie Committee, and stay tuned for any upcoming podcast news. Coming up on today's show, we have part 2 of Elzhi's album, The Preface. All right, let's get into it.
All right, track 8, Demons. I was going to throw to Matt last track, but Danny interrupted me, so now I'm going to throw to Matt.
And I'm going to throw it back to you, Aaron. What are you going to do now? And I'm going to throw it back
to Matt. It's hot potato, baby.
No. Matt, this is your song. This is all you. I really want to hear what you have to say.
Are you being facetious?
No. It did sound like that, didn't it?
Yeah, it did sound very facetious.
What? I want to hear what both of you have to say, but you can start.
Is there any particular reason why you want me to start?
Nah. I just want to hear your voice.
Oh, thanks.
Don't we
Aaron, is there any particular reason why you want me to start?
You know what? You go, Danny. I want Matt to do... I'll tell you why I've changed my mind. Because I want you to do the next track. I want Matt to do the next song. I see that,
actually. Yeah.
I kind of want to do this one, though.
Oh, no, yeah. No. Let's let him do it, because I really screwed him on the last one.
All right.
All right. Well, track 8, Demons. I'm actually interested to, the reason why I was questioning you both so much, because I wanted to sort of pick up on, what you think I thought of this song.
It's hard to say what I think you would think about this song, because, to be honest, it's not like this strikes me as a Matt song.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't.
It strikes me as a really good song, so I am expecting 5 stars.
Okay. All right. Well, I shouldn't disappoint. Let's see. So, Demons, track 8. I really, really like this song. Straight out the gate. The instrumental sounds like something that Kanye would put together.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's got heavy, from the heavy to marching band style drums, the 2 different drums, the heavy ones in the marching band. It's got mesmerizing background vocals and haunting screeches. This instrumental sounds so full in a great way, though. This is sort of this was a contender for me for my favorite album instrumental. On top of that,
really, I can see that.
On top of that, I like the hook, even though it's quite short. It's still it elaborates on the concepts that are explored in this song, and more than that, it encourages the listeners to consider: is their life or are the events in their lives being controlled by angels, demons, or possibly both? For those reasons, I think the hook adds value to the song, and we always talked about whether something adds value, so I think it does. So that's a positive. On to the verses. Elzhi is obviously delving into darker concepts on this song, and it's subject matter that immediately tickles my fancy. I like the darker subject matter. I gave that Flatbush Zombies Flatbush Zombies track 5 stars. The one where he's talking about serial killers, when I think both did it.
I was thinking of comparing, this song to that one.
Yeah.
Or I was thinking, after you said, why do you want me to do this song? And then I started thinking a bit later, and I was like, you do like the darker kind of subject matter, which this is, and so was that Flatbush one that you liked more than any of us. So
yeah. Yeah. So, and it's the same as like My Darling by Eminem. Like I love that. Like that's up my alley. So I was automatically like already biased to enjoying like what I was going to hear on this track. I like how the lyrics initially focus on demons in like a biblical sense and then shift to demons in our society in the second verse, such as drugs, politicians, and even music. But the list goes on. My favorite bars on this song are: got us paranoid, stepping out very cautious, the same way we holding guns, nuns carry crosses.
Yeah.
Forms of protection against the evil forces. Of course, there's subjections in your cerebral cortex, the demons. That's just, that's a nasty dog line right there. So for all of the above, the instrumental, the hook, and the verses, I give this song 5 stars.
He's done it.
Danny.
That was a nice laugh to like suit this track.
Yeah. Demons. How good is that?
Can I just say, before you continue, the very first line of my notes is literally that. So funny.
Well, it's not
so
even.
Funny
I have that coming up later in what I was talking about, but I just saw it cross my eyes, and I was like, I have to say it now. I just have to say it now. Just another. He's done it again. Another awesome concept. He's so creative. He's such a cool rapper.
I think you could say, sorry to interrupt, I think you could say on that point you made, he definitely is a concept rapper. Like that seems to be the thing. Like this is his debut album, right? So like he's sending a message that he naturally gravitates towards concept songs.
Yeah. Well, I think I think it interests him. I think it's I think he likes to challenge himself. I think that's what it is. Like, I wouldn't say Elzhi is a concept rapper because that like puts him in a box. But like, I think he genuinely likes the challenge of, because it's not just enough. He's already mastered multi-syllables and internal rhymes, but so have other people. He wants to challenge himself even further to incorporate those internal rhymes and stuff into these, elaborate concepts and just take it further. Like, so I admire that. He's always challenging himself. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
So the beat is incredible. The sample is just, I can't help but, do it. I had to do it straight away. It's so good. And just the whole idea of demons, being responsible for all the negative shit in the world and how they come in various forms. It's so dope. Matt, you said the line that I really love, the same way we're holding guns, nuns carry crosses. Like, that's some deep shit.
Yeah.
And then, then the concept of the song really kicks in when he starts in the second verse. Like, he actually breaks down the word demons into all these acronyms. Like, it's genius. And then he follows it up with that alphabetical slaughter, breaking down the word demons into its individual letters. Like, he takes it even further with the concept. It's so good.
What's that called again? We do it in school.
Across.
Yes. Acrostic poem. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's been done. That's a concept that has been done before, but he does it really well. The skit at the end should definitely be its own track. Like it if not taken off the album entirely. But I can see how it both relates to this song and more so the song that is following. But it definitely does not belong at the end of this song. Regardless,
Agreed.
I'm giving this song 5 stars.
You both pretty much said everything that I
That's because I read your
was going to
notes.
say.
I read your notes
The
before
beat is-
we did this. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Oh. Well, what's the point? I should just quit. No, I think, this, from the very second you hear that soul sample, is the beat is fire. It's just absolute fire. It has this like satanic feel to it. And once again, Black Milk hit themes. So like we've been complimenting Elzhi for concept, but the ability for Black Milk to hit the concept on an instrumental level cannot go unnoticed, because without him, this song wouldn't have the same vibe. So he did an absolutely fantastic job and allowed Elzhi to just go for it. And I just love that concept. As you said, Matt, the concept of demons clouding what you see, and in the end, the devil making you see shit things is like just a really cool idea. And people talked about demons a lot in hip hop, but this is just taking it to the next level. And usually I'd have problems with the two intros and the interlude, but it worked on this. I don't think it took anything away. But I almost think the first verse is a little stronger than the second of Elzhi's. And you said that line, Matt. Forms of protection against the evil forces of courses, their subjection in your cerebral cortex. The demons, I think that's in the last line, but in the last verse. But at the end of the day, this whole thing is amazing. And the only weird thing is that skit with the beat change. And I've critiqued you for doing this, Danny, in the past, for saying you can't ignore the rest of the track. But I'm going to defy my rule and say that all I do is skip straight after, and it's not part of the song. It just can't be, because I'm not going to let that rule force me to give this a lower rating.
Oh,
it's 5 stars. I'm going to defy my own rule and say this is 5 stars. I'm going to do it exactly what Danny says, and I'm going to ignore the skit at the end, because as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't do enough to take away from this 5-star track.
I think we all just not only lined up with the rating, but also with our favourite lyrics.
Yeah. Because the thing is, that first verse is a it's a standard verse, but he elevates it, because the second verse he goes into the concept of breaking down demons into its acronym and stuff, and it's hard to pull out quotes from that are like really deep and shit, but so you can really only go to the first verse for quotables, and that is the best quote.
I think what he does really well is he just goes into this demon, view of like what the demon does to you, and he doesn't let you feel like there's anyone there to save you. Like he just
you tried to slip it in, didn't ya? Tried to slip it in.
I
That
did.
was good though. I saw it, but I love the way you tried to slip it in seamlessly and failed.
Yeah, well, what can I say? That's what I try to do with the women. That also fails.
Now,
So,
Aaron, I want you to go first, because it sounded to me like you wanted Matt to go first because you think this is a Matt kind of song, and it almost sounded like you were saying that it as a negative connotation.
Wasn't a negative connotation. I just know that these types of songs go towards Matt. But let's go. Track 9, Savior. All right. Now, let's start with the production. So this is the first of 2, as you said, Danny, that are not produced by Black Milk. It's produced by T3, who I have never heard before. But apparently he's a member of Slum Village.
Yeah.
Never heard of Slum Village before, but let me just say I'm probably not going to look for them after this. And I know that can seem harsh because it does have it's got a really pleasant beat, but that chipmunk
That's exactly what I
sample
said.
in there
Oh my
annoys me.
god!
I think that this song is better without
Oh,
the
you are so wrong.
chipmunk sample.
I agree with Danny there. That was the only thing that I pulled out that I liked.
Oh my god, you guys are so wrong. I mean, Matt's right
No,
on the
he
beat, but he's
agrees with
saying
you.
that's the only thing that's good about it.
I just felt that this would be better without the chipmunk, and there's a song that later comes up that has a similar vibe that, in my opinion, does a better job.
Very interesting.
But I liked that part of the beat, and I think the heavy drums and the piano work. I don't know why it just didn't hit me, and I usually don't mind a chipmunk style, but in this one it didn't work so well.
Chipmunk soul.
Yeah, but in this one it didn't seem to work for me, and I don't know why. Like, I've listened to this a couple of times, and it's like more than a couple. I've like listened to this 4, 5, 6. How many times do I have to listen to it? And it just didn't hit me in the right way. In regards to content, again, it's probably not the best content. It's all about, women and, don't get Elzhi to save you and pay her bills and shit. The flow was good, but I think there were some funny lines in here. Fed you a meal, now you head over heels, dead it and chill, and you would have got in bed for a bill. But still, you can't explain why you're feeling me this past year. Which one will it be? Your liability or an asset? It's a little accounting there. That's actually a good one. But yeah, I think this is interesting. But overall, I would skip this track. I thought that the hook wasn't good either. I thought it was a bit trash, to be honest with you. And overall, this is a skip and 2.5 stars.
I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe you're doing this to me.
But I did say, interested to see what Matt thinks, because it
so
strikes me as a Matt.
I was right. You did have a negative connotation to this.
Well, yeah, we tend not to like these songs, and Matt tends to love them. That seems to be the framework. Although from the way you're moaning and about to crack it, sounds like
I take it from this song. My shit tasting music, by the way.
I didn't say it was shit. I just said it was different.
I want to hear Matt go because he's given it away. He's already given it away.
Yeah.
But he likes the beat and nothing else.
No, I meant to say I like just the chipmunk sound of the instrumental. So, like, the instrumental is okay, but nothing special, in my opinion.
Jesus Christ.
The characteristic I do like of it is that chipmunk style background vocal. I think it's quite unique. Like, it adds a unique sound to the instrumental. Like, in saying that, there's like a melodic vibe to the instruments that are playing that is pleasant to listen to, and it does match the vibe of the song. So that's also positive, but not especially, like, it wasn't especially memorable or moving for me personally, this instrumental. So I think it's just, like, it's okay. All right, don't get me started on the hook. I'm going to go exactly with what Aaron was saying. I'm going to go worse. I honestly do not know why Elzhi bothered to include that hook. If you could even call it a hook on this track, it's so tokenistic and does not add any value to the track whatsoever. If it were up to me, I would have left it out entirely. Shittest hook on the album so far.
Jesus Christ.
Verses wise, unlike the content in the previous song, I'm just not feeling it here. I understand that Elzhi is speaking about gold diggers. However, if I want to, I'm going to use your line, Danny. If I want to go and listen to such a track, I would immediately skip to Gold Digger by Kanye, as that fast area content similar song. So, it's just not worth my time. The one thing that I do like about the lyrics in Savior is the way that Elzhi's last verse, like, seamlessly transitions to T3.
Yeah, I love that.
With the bars, which are also my favorite bars of the track. You might have played other ends, but they not me. They see with 2 eyes, you know I got 3, and then that immediately transitions to T3's bars. You can't play me, no, not 3. I'm not the one, that's why I got free. I thought that was quite clever, but that's pretty much the only takeaway thing I liked from the verse. Hated the hook, and the instrumental was okay, so it is a 2-star track.
Oh my god!
This
I did not see
particular
that coming.
song, if I'm giving a 2-star, is trash for me. I would absolutely skip it.
This is blowing my mind.
But like, how Aaron and I are pretty much the same. He gave it 2.5. I gave it 2. Like, it's a similar rating.
I know. It's blowing my mind. This is. Well, I'm just going to say. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. This is a 5-star song.
Oh, fuck's sake.
This is a 5-star song, and I just think, from what I understand, we just have a fundamental difference of opinion, because I think this instrumental is amazing and you guys don't. This instrumental for me is just, in terms of chipmunk soul sampling, like, this is the best that it's being done on the album for me. Like, I could easily vibe to this instrumental, like just an instrumental version of this song. I would vibe to it. So we just have a fundamental difference of opinion that will never be resolved.
Yeah, I think you're right that we just disagree.
There's nothing that can be done, and because instrumentals are so important, like we've said, previously. If you love an instrumental, you are more likely to forgive the lyrics. But if an instrumental's shit, then the lyrics are more important. And if they're shit as well, it's just a shit song. But the instrumental is so good here for me that the content of the song just doesn't even matter. I would give it 5 stars no matter what he was saying. And I don't think he's talking that much shit either. I think he's for what the song is, I think he does a really good job. It's about gold diggers, and Matt, like you were saying, you'd go to Gold Diggers by Kanye West. I would go to this song before I went to Gold Diggers by Kanye West every time. Yeah, because
that's very interesting.
To be honest, that beat on Gold Diggers, it was never the best thing about it for me. So, and on this song, the beat is. So I would always go to this song before I'd go to Kanye's Gold Diggers. And I don't know, I like the lyrics. I like some of the lyrics, like, so baby girl, on no grounds will we marry, slow down, you just hold your horses like a merry-go-round, round. You're fantasizing about shopping sprees because you see me dropping G's like I'm chopping keys. I mean, he's still a beast on this song. He's Gold Diggers is not the worst topic you could rap about, and he's doing it like a beast. And like you said, that transition into T3's verse is like, it's probably the best thing about it. T3 has the funniest line on the song when he says, "You never cease to surprise me, so I had to go like a worker on a Friday." Did any of you think that was funny? It's
slightly amusing. I don't think it's that funny. The way you're laughing is as good as
it's not at that level, but it is. I laugh when I hear that. But you're probably like already moping and this instrumental is so bad that you can't vibe to any of the lyrics really. But when he says that, I had to go like a worker on a Friday. Who can't relate to that? I had to go like a worker on a Friday. End of the week, I'm out of there. It's funny.
Can you say that again? Because I didn't get it the first 3 times you said it. I understand the reference. All I'm saying is that I just didn't vibe to it as much. Out of all the tracks that I've listened to, this was the least enjoyable.
And I already explained that it's because of the instrumental, which we will not be able to resolve. I just think this is, I don't know. It's 5 stars for me, and I've explained why. It's 90% because of the beat, and it's the opposite for you. So that is just. But the thing is, I don't like, and I'm sure it's the same way, but I just in my brain cannot understand what elements of this instrumental are just clashing the wrong way, because the exact things it's doing, that chipmunk style, you love shit like that. You love shit like that.
Yeah, generally I do. And for some reason in this one, it just didn't. I don't know. I don't know why. All I can say, every time I've listened to it, I'm just like, get rid of the chipmunk, get rid of the chipmunk, get rid of the chipmunk. And it's rare because we've talked about chipmunk style before, and I have never had a problem with it. This is the first time where I'm like, okay, I'm annoyed by it. And it surprised me as much as it surprises you right now. But I just can't seem to get past it, and I don't know why.
Enough. That's just like we said, it's a roadblock for you, and it's the thing I love the most about it. So that's why it's 5 stars. I will say, you said that T3 was part of Slum Village. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but at some point in time, Elzhi was an honorary member of Slum Village and was. He was on an album as a member of the group with them, and that group is notable for including J Dilla, who produced most of their stuff, and he was a member of the group. And J Dilla is a legendary Detroit producer. Rest in peace. So yeah, just a little side fact. But 5 stars.
Well, I did, but I think that's probably the first real difference. Usually, Matt, you're the one who seems to be the outlier, but this time it was Danny who was the outlier.
And the thing is, my opinion will not change because I'm the one who suggested this album. I'm the one who's been listening to this album for over 10 years. My opinions are, in cement. They are not changing. So, it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah,
I like that this happened.
Do you know when you're doing this is a question for you, Danny. When you're studying or teaching 2D shapes to kids at school.
Wait, am I supposed to say yes?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I do know that. I have had that experience before. Yeah. Okay, our next song is.
You know how typical shapes have or general shapes have different properties. So we have they have vertices and then they have faces. There's another property that I feel sums you up on this track.
Okay. I'm a cube. I'm a naughty cube. Oh.
That's the name of a shape. I'm talking about a property. So typically there are 3 different properties to describe shapes.
2D shapes. Vertices. Sides and... Wait, what's the other one?
So there's usually faces as well, but that's...
that's
more
3D.
3D shapes. But it's ruined, don't worry.
What?
I need to hear what your point was now.
Edges, mate.
Edges! Yeah. Oh, that was a horrible build-up to say I had an edgy opinion. Horrible.
That was such a long build-up for so little power.
Yeah, it's like my love life.
It's a little bit like Saviour, to be honest.
Oh, God. That was so not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. And my transition.
But it was very funny. And keep it in and double it, Aaron.
That's the whole thing. That's just going to be the whole thing. All right. Moving on. Track 10. Yeah. Who wants to kick this one off? Danny, you haven't kicked one off in a while.
I mean, I'm not really enthusiastic about this one. Compared to the other songs we've already heard on this album, I mean, it's just lacking that special something for me. Like, there's just that special sauce that Black Milk and Elzhi can put on a song, and this one does not have it. Like, saying that, again, if this was on Shane Noir's album, this would undoubtedly be a 5-star song. But on this album, I can't go quite that high. But this is still a great song. And there's heaps of stuff that I love about it. Like, it's extremely braggadocious, which I love. And both rappers are going hard. And they get 2 whole verses each. It's probably the slightly repetitive beat and the mediocre hook which keep this song from being 5 stars. And dare I say it, but I think Fat Cat
don't
outshines Elzhi on this track. I've already said it. I've done it.
He's done it.
His first verse is just hard as hell. We out cold in the D. Me and my N stay freezing. I ain't friendly. F all that smiling and grinning. Quick to turn a situation to the start of your ending. Where ends is grimy, we all got cases just pending. That is nasty dog. And you gotta love that Mobb Deep reference. So, like, he's just grimy. He brings that grime to the song. I also like when he says, Dilla told me, cat, keep your foot on their neck and don't even breathe on a track unless they cutting the check. I mean, god damn, that is hard. It's so good.
That was so good.
So, I'm not saying Elzhi is bad at all. Elzhi does his thing, especially the last verse. I think he has a killer last verse. But Fat Cat is just the winner for me. I'm just going to say it. I think I just prefer Fat Cat. Just for his content. Like, I'm not going to say he, out multi-syllabled Elzhi, but just content-wise, it's just like Mobb Deep. Prodigy is not lyrical, miracle, multi-syllable in your swimming pool, but Prodigy is the grimiest dude I've ever heard in my life, and that is what I gravitate towards. So Fat Cat brought that energy for me, and so that's why I prefer his verses. Having said all that, it's fair. Having said all that, though, it's a solid track, but just doesn't quite reach the high bar that has been set, by previous songs. So it's 4 stars for me.
No, you go.
Matt.
You go on this one.
All right, I'm going. A lot of parts in the buck today, but I'll go. Yeah, I like the beat. I like the drums on this. And I will say, before I actually critique this track, Fat Cat is one of the shittest hip-hop names I have ever heard. There is literally nothing gangster about PH Fat and KAT as a name, because there's only, cats can be known as pussies. So essentially, you've called yourself Fat Pussy.
I don't know. Cool. You can be a cool cat.
It's not a good name. It's not a gangster name.
I see where you're coming from, but it never rubbed me the wrong way, but I can see where you're coming from.
It's just another one of those names where you're like, I feel like you could have done better.
Yeah, for
much
sure.
like Planet Asia. Anyway, bars for days. And as you said, I love how they go verse for verse twice. And they kill it. And the internal rhyme scheme from Elzhi is amazing. He's been doing it all over that album, and he's just a lyrical miracle. In fact, the Fat Cat has a really good voice as well. He just has this presence about him. And I actually think, for me, it went in this order. I think first verse, Fat Cat beats Elzhi's first verse, And then second verse, Fat Cat is second to Elzhi's second verse.
I can agree with that.
So I think that's how I rated them, because essentially it's like Fat Cat goes, Elzhi loses, Fat Cat goes again, then Elzhi brings it to finish. And Danny, yeah, you had my quotable as well, but pretty much this whole track is quotable. Like, there's just so many lines in this that you can just go and grab, and it's just a good track. And I'm surprised you only gave it 4 stars, Danny, to be honest. For both rappers going really hard, and for both rappers just showing their skills, like, this was really good. Like, provoke the scanner, better be in a joking manner, because my spoken grammar comes equipped with a cloak and dagger.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean? I can get the shit out of you.
I'm saying that the lyrics and the verses are the best thing about this song, and it's the beat, it's the repetitive beat and the mediocre hook. Which, like I said before, if a instrumental, is not, is the weakest part of the song, I'm more likely to downgrade it.
Yeah, but I think I know which tracks, which are song stealing lines are for Matt. Dick long as that centimeter stick, chicks feeling it like they're in their stomach, like it's a fetus when the fetus kicks. That has Matt all over it. But I'm going to say, I disagree with you, Danny. The bars for this the bars for this are all that's important, and I like the instrumental. It did what it had to do. It was there. It let them go hard. I gave this 5 stars.
I can see that, but then again, like, if you compare this song to Guessing Game, Motown 25, Demons, are you putting this in the same category?
Well, no, but there's categories of 5 stars.
It's clear that there's already three songs that are in a higher category of 5 star than this one.
Yeah, but this would easily go in a playlist, and it's got replay value all day.
I can see that. I just think it's not close enough to those other songs to get 5 stars.
Yeah, I can see that. I just think it's a different track.
But Matt is going to prove us all wrong.
This is like an above average track for me. This is a 3-starer for me. It's got a simple but effective instrumental that I do like, because it champions both of the rappers' verses. Like the repetitive drums and keyboard. I think it's a keyboard. Like that sequence, I don't mind either. It doesn't bother me. It does what it needs to do without stealing the show. The instrumental is not the hero in this track, but I don't think it's trying to be. The hook is okay. It's nothing I would write home about. It seems to me to serve as more of a brief intermission between the verses rather than an actual hook. So you could argue it's a bit tokenistic. The verses are they're the highlight, like you both said. Elzhi definitely steals the show against Fat Pussy, in my opinion. And
wrong, but funny. Wrong, but funny.
My favourite bars on this track are not that ones Aaron mentioned, although I did consider it. But then I thought, no, that's too easy. So I tried to be edgy, and I...
Hey, what shape of edge do you reckon? Are you a triangle edge or a cube edge? Oh, that's
a rectangle edge.
Edge is the word of this particular podcast. My favourite bars on this track are, yo, I'm the chose king. When flows swing, the blows sting. Oh, just like hose. But I included the next part just for the effect that it has, but I don't know if I like it. Hose cleaning my clothes, I stand out like nose rings. I don't get the hose cleaning my clothes part. I get the I stand
Why
out.
not?
I get the.
No, they're like maids.
He's just got women cleaning his clothes.
Okay, but I don't. I just don't think it fits like straight after the boxing reference, and like the nose rings like kind of does, because like in boxing you're not allowed any rings or anything, like any piercings.
Yeah.
But like
Well,
I don't know if the hose cleaning my clothes fits, but like for the purpose of
it's just funny. It's just funny.
yeah, that's why it's my favorite bar of the track. But 3 stars, above average.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can see it. I see both of your sides. I'm in the middle, and I can see going either way.
Mm.
Incorrect. But nah. I just think.
How are you going to transition into the next song?
Different. Well, I think this will be my transitional joint.
You've done it.
I just did it better than you.
Exactly. I set you up.
No, I did it
to help
before
me.
you set me up, you idiot.
Yes. No, it's because I
Sure.
go for it. I was just waiting. Anyway, track 11, transitional joint. And I'm going to kick this one off. I'm taking
and you were hinting to this one before as well. Wow. Yeah.
I was. Now, this is the one with the similar chipmunk beat that I prefer. I love this instrumental track, and the sample is cut so well, and the piano, I could listen to this all day, baby.
Uh-oh.
But this is where we get a little bit interesting because the content is not my favorite.
Here we go.
However, the
go.
delivery on this is really, really
Don't pretend it's the
really
delivery.
good.
You love the instrumental so much that you're forgiving the lyrics.
And I'm just going to say this right now. I loved this track, and I'm going to go out on a limb and give it 5 bloody stars is how much I love it.
Do you see how you're doing exactly what I did on Savior?
Yeah. I'm just doing the opposite
So you
track.
understand where I was coming from.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I just way preferred this one. I just loved his delivery. There's just the hook here. He does so well. Like, he just spits it through. Like, I don't know. Usually I hate these types of tracks, but this one hit me in the right way, and I've listened to it over and over again, and I still give it 5 stars. In my opinion, this is how you do one of these love songs. But at the end of the day, the production here set this up. If it wasn't for the production, you're probably right, Danny. I'd probably tear my eyes out or rip my ears off. But this was really good, and I gave this 5 stars, and I've listened to this over and over again.
I'm going to jump in there. So, just because I feel like we're so similar, this instrumental I really enjoyed because it's so smooth, soulful background vocals, up-tempo beat. It has you bopping along to the beat of the instrumental. The only criticism I have of the instrumental is how the song ends. It's just got an unnecessary and unpleasant outro that should just not exist in this song. Other than that, this instrumental perfectly matches the song's content. The hook, Aaron, you're 100% right. Elzhi nails the hook on this song, in my opinion. It's catchy, it's connected to the song's content, and is positioned perfectly between the verses, so that it initially seems as it's just like a continuation of the previous verse, but then you realize, it's actually the hook. I also appreciate how the hook is repeated multiple times after the second verse, before the horrendous outro. It makes it even more memorable for me personally. So you have it like stuck in your head even after the song is finished. So the hook's nailed. As far as the verses go, I get that love songs or love rap songs are either your cup of tea or aren't, but this is pretty dope for a love rap song. He has a silky smooth flow throughout the verses. It draws you in. It's pleasant to listen to. Even if love rap songs are not your cup of tea, I would still recommend listening to this one because it has a feel-good sound and Elzhi has a suave flow. It's 4 stars.
And he still has multi-syllable rhymes in this. His internal rhyme schemes are really good.
When does he not do that?
No, but that's my point. But that's why, I'm usually for whatever reason, hip hop artists, when they do a love song, they throw all their good shit out the window in terms of technical skill, and they just do a love song and they're just like, hey, baby girl. But he still continues his really good rapping. He's just done it in a different way. And I liked it here.
Yeah. Well, I agree with both of you. And that's the interesting thing. I think this is an amazing instrumental. I would compare this. This is the closest thing to Savior for me. This instrumental is closest to Savior of anything else, and I love both of them. So that's why it's so hard for me to understand where you guys are coming from on Savior as well. It's like it adds another layer of me not being able to comprehend your opinions. But like, I need an instrumental version of this song too. And like you guys are saying, it's a love song, but this is an exception to the rule. And like, it's not like he's trying to woo the ladies with the song. Like, it's like, I just don't find anything corny about the song, which is a big problem that I have with most love songs. It's basically a storytelling song. He starts talking about coming out of a shit relationship, which turned him ice cold, and then the right one comes along and everything is rainbows and sunshine again. Like, it's a story from start to finish. It's well told. It sounds like he's pulling from personal experience. Like, it sounds personal. I agree with Matt 100%. The outro is absolutely unnecessary, but, you know.
He does that a little bit, though, in this album. He has a couple of outros that just are not required.
Other ones make sense, though. This one is just there. Other ones usually link into the following song, but I don't think this one did. But like other songs, I'm not letting this affect my final rating. It's a 5-star song. Yeah.
Bang. We've done it. I'm surprised that we all gave it so high. I was sure that someone would give it a low rating.
That's when you know that when a good song is a good song. This is just a good song. There's no one can disagree.
But you are right. I definitely want the instrumental. Like, I feel like I could definitely sleep to that. So melodic and so pleasant. Sure. Moving on, track 12, Talking in
I thought you were going to
transition
sleep. From, you could listen to this in bed. What were you doing? You stuffed it up.
No, but that's what I did. I just waited. I just blended it in.
You did not mean... Did you mean to say...
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I missed that one, and well done.
Well, there you go. If I can get one past you and you don't realise, I've done a good job.
That's the best one you've done.
Track 12, Talking in My Sleep. Danny, do you want to go first on this one?
Talking in My Sleep. Well, start with the instrumental. It's far from the flashiest instrumental on the album, but I think it sets the tone well. Same with the scratches for the hook, like nothing flashy with those scratches, but I think they suit the song and they break up the verses nicely. And
Agreed.
I really love the imagery that he conjures throughout the whole song. Like, again, this is another concept song, and he paints an incredible picture of what it feels like to be in a really abstract dream. Like, we've all had dreams, not exactly like this, but the way he's describing the dream is it's so familiar in the way dreams will just go from one place to another in such a weird way.
Yeah.
Like, just how everything in a dream feels familiar as well. Like, everything in a dream feels familiar, but then there's something that's not quite right, and you can't put your finger on it until you wake up. And I especially love that second verse where he describes how, like, a psycho killer is after him, and he's praying for the alarm clock to start ringing and wake him up. but just the way he describes that whole scenario from start to finish, like that's some genuine horror movie shit, and that's like right up my alley. However, I don't find myself coming back to this song often. And I think it's probably down to the beat. Like I said at the start, like it's, there's nothing wrong with the beat, but it kind of detracts from like the replay value. Like it sets the tone of the song well, but it's the replay value was affected. So it's another great concept, executed really well, but I'm giving this one 4 stars. Yeah.
Damn.
Matt. This is not going to be received well.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I would describe the instrumental as quite dull and capable of having a lulling effect on the listeners. You could argue that this instrumental choice was like intentional, given the title of the track as well as the themes explored within it. So, like, if you consider that, it does suit the song, and I'll give it a pass, but it didn't woo me. The hook I dislike. It's just unimaginative, and its only redeeming quality is, again, the accompanying scratching sound effects. I seem to like the scratching sound effects on this album. So that's the only thing I really enjoy from the hook. So I'll leave that. And the verses, I dislike the lengthy and boring, I've described them, verses in this.
Wow.
Is a shame because I think the ideas for a really interesting story rap like content are here. However, for me, it was just poorly executed in the scenario.
This is really surprising because this sounds like before, this like that Flatbush song that you were talking about, and what other one, Demons.
Yeah.
This is that kind of song.
Yeah.
This is like psycho killer chasing you, trying to run away. Isn't that like your shit?
Yeah, I must have missed it. I must have gone over my head.
That whole second verse is that. Yeah, you definitely must have not paid attention.
My comment that when I was listening to this track that I wrote down was, Elzhi certainly does need to stop dreaming and wake up because I'm sensing nightmares coming on from this track.
Oh, no.
So I would absolutely skip this trash of a track. I'd give it 2 stars.
What?
Jesus. What'd you give it?
No way. 2 stars.
Yeah, 2, baby.
You've got to go. I really want you to... Did you read along with Rap Genius on this one? Usually do.
I think I did, but I'm not sure.
Well, I think you have to, because you've obviously not caught on to the second verse, the story that's happening there.
Yeah.
And I think you'd appreciate it if you did.
Okay.
You might not. It might raise your score from 2 to 2.5. I'm not going to say you're going to love the song, but I think you'll appreciate something you didn't appreciate before.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, I don't know where to go from here, to be honest. But I'm going to kick off mine and say, I understand where you're both coming from with the beat. However, my counterpoint to that is that this beat is sinister and it's eerie and it feels unclear and it feels cloudy. And that's what happens in a dream. It's weird. You're like there, but you're not 100%. You're like trying to figure out what's going on. And this is exactly what Elzhi is doing. He's just there. He tells this story that feels like a dream. Like the things he says, you're like, that could happen in a dream. Like, then I'm cut with this razor. I feel blood when gunshots. The barber just was shot. The clip was dropped while they were still buzzing. I got a hit in the floor, but it was weird. It disappeared. And it was just here a minute ago. I'm gliding in the air.
How cool is that?
Like, that is amazing. Everyone knows the iconic of like you're falling in a dream. And like, he's got, my hand's on a 9. I blink once. My gun is in his palm. I'm in disbelief because it vanished from mine.
All the imagery is so cool.
It's amazing. Like, just line after line. And, like, he has this, like, now the downstairs look like upstairs and upstairs look like downstairs. I hit the steps, looked around. Where's he at? My hand's on the couch, a door flung open. It's him. I stand from a couch. I pull the heater out between the two pillows. Then I thought of pulling the trigger. I didn't figure that he'd shoot water. It's like everything that's happening in this story is a dream. Like, the way you think it's heading, and he just kind of goes somewhere else. And that's exactly what a dream's like. And then just the ending is, took the heater I was holding just to make a bullet leap, pointed at his head, squeezed it, sounded like beat,
so good.
beat,
so
beat,
good.
beat.
I wish instead of like that particular line, he had like an alarm clock actually going beep, beep, beep. I think that would have been really cool.
I think that would have worked better, but yeah, that's like a nitpick. That's a nitpick. Yeah,
that's a huge nitpick. And like, yeah, like, to me, this is a story rap, but done and woven into a concept rap all together, and it works perfectly for me. I don't have a problem with the beat. A different beat wouldn't hit the tone in my mind. And so because of that, I'm dreaming, and I'm sitting on 5 stars,
I
baby.
can see that for sure. I like that. Yeah, like, the lyrics are so good that you have to give it 5 stars. That happens.
Well, I love a story rap, and this story rap is different to everything else. It's real, like, it's the real character, but because it's a supernatural world, all this random fuck shit happens to Elzhi, and he can't, and he's trying to get out of it, but there's no way he can. It just gets worse. And, like, all these things that happen that are just unexpected.
I just say, the thing is, Matt used the word for this song. He said this song is trash. And I think he is fundamentally wrong. I think that opinion is wrong. And I think you need to go back just to listen to the lyrics and appreciate them.
Yeah.
And maybe your opinion will change slightly.
Yeah.
I don't think you can call this song trash.
I feel like you've missed the science behind this track. You've missed you've just missed, I think you've missed it. I don't know why. I think it slipped through. You might have been distracted. I think it slipped through for you, Matt. I highly recommend, just like, when you get a chance, just go back, listen to it, and read along, and just see the imagery. Because as we talk about it, it just keeps reiterating to me.
Like, those lyrics that you were reading out just were like, oh, they were like giving me goosebumps.
I might need to give it another listen. The only reason I called it trash is because, like, to be, like, facetious about, like, my rating system, how when we're like, oh, if it's 2 stars, I think I got that from one of you actually saying, oh, 2 stars is trash.
Yeah, that's my.
But 2 stars
isn't
is
it
trash.
Well, look, it was trash for me on these, like, in these listens I've had, like, compared to the other songs I've heard on this album. It wasn't as good for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go
But
back.
I'm saying that I think you might be rewarded on future listens.
Possibly. It could grow. It could grow.
Yeah.
All right. Track 13, The Science.
Like, for me, this is an improvement in terms of the instrumental. On the previous song, I didn't like the dull instrumental on the last song. For the first time on this album, now I'm feeling that things are winding down, and there's still 3 tracks to go. I think after listening to this song, I was like, game over. All right, we're done. The hook seems completely confused to me. Is it a hook? Is it another verse? It's not catchy enough to be a hook, but it's long enough to be a verse. Whatever it's intended to be, it just does not work for me at all, the hook.
Correct. He's right. He's bloody right.
Fez Rock's and Elzhi's verses are the main redeeming qualities of the track. They're both spitting some real story rap shit that I can dig. My favourite bars on this are, shots bust in, cops rush in, on ends hustling. You know the signs of money is substance, the evil. My peoples live illegal, stacked dough that equals to large amounts that's hard to count. And I also liked they pursue a crime because my city's so poor. My ends Jay got killed robbing his video store, trying to provide for his seed. He felt his word caving in before the day that he bleed. They're my two faves, one from Festival Rock and one from Elzhi, and I give this overall a 3-star rating. So
Damn.
average.
Damn, dog. You're getting harsh. You're getting real harsh. You're being nasty,
harsh.
dog. You're a nasty dog.
Nasty dog.
Yeah.
Dog.
I mean, you picked out that my favorite line as well. I'll just go. This is the other song not produced by Black Milk. It's DJ Dez produced this one. Never heard of him. But I really like this beat. It's not a banger or anything, but it's the melody of the instrumental really grabs me about this one. I don't know. The melody of it. To be honest, off the top of my head, I can't remember what it is, but I love it. And Matt, you hit the nail on the bloody head. The hook is way too wordy. Like I've said before, hooks need to be catchy so that they can hook you in. That's why they're called a hook. Hook you into the song. But when hooks sound like a mini verse, they usually don't work. And this one does not work. So this is a trash hook. I'll say that. Trash hook. Fez Rock opens the track with a really grimy opening verse. And you know I love that shit. Matt said the entire line that I was going to say. And to be honest, I'm going to do it again. This is my favorite verse on this song. Fez Rock is my dude on this song. I've never heard of him before either. But for me, griminess is what I want, and he brought it. So I'm giving Fez Rock the win. Don't get me wrong, though. Elzhi is doing his thing. He always does. He never does not do his thing. He's always rapping amazingly well. But at this point in the album, he's just giving us more of what we've already come to expect from him. Whereas I feel like Fez Rock is bringing something new, with his voice and his cadence and his griminess. It's just good to mix things up, you know. And Elzhi, the one thing about Elzhi, he doesn't mix things up technically, lyrically. Do you know what I mean? He's
extremely consistent.
Exactly.
In what he gives
so
you.
it's good when someone comes along like Fez Rock to just mix it up a little bit. So I'm going to drop this song down half a star because of the hook. The hook is it's too long and wordy and not catchy enough. So 4.5 stars.
Danny, you read my mind.
Notes?
Notes. You read my notes. No, you read what I wrote. I mean, you literally said everything that I have to say.
Having the best verse.
No. As in the beat and what annoyed me, much like Matt, that hook pissed me off. It just wasn't good, and I can see that you could kind of get used to it in a way, but it'll never be great. And as you said, Danny, it is way too wordy. And if you want something wordy, just put in another verse. No one's forcing you to put this in as a hook. You've chosen to put this in as a hook. And if you want to put in more verses, put in more verses. At the end of the day, this feels more like a verse trying to be a hook rather than a hook being a hook. And so you're right, it does go down, but you're also definitely right with, what what Elzhi brings. He brings something extremely consistent in terms of like what he does. And I'm just gonna, because Danny, you loved the feature on this album, and you loved Fez Rock. So I'm just going to talk about a little bit about Elzhi, because I think he also killed it. He has some great lines, and again, the multi-syllable stuff is just it keeps blowing my mind. But I can see how after a while you can only listen to this for a certain amount of time because you need rappers to kind of start doing different stuff. But I'm liking it the way he's doing it right now. So, grew eyes in the back of my head for who behind mine, that backstab, smack dab in your stacked abs till it black scab, feel the pressure like cracked crab.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Imagery.
Like, it just sounds really nice. No, but it sounds nice. It like just the sound of it and the continuation of using the sound is really nice. The block's been good to the hood, get hella bad. Some fellas the caught slipping can tell he's sad. Fuck it, that's how it gotta go. You just gotta keep it, your eyes peeled. Heard about some guys killed inside my old junior high's field. Like, the way he finishes the punchlines and he just throws them in the middle of each line is just really good. I also couldn't look past the hook though, and for that I also deducted it half a mark, and therefore
jeez, yeah, we synced up hard on that one.
Yeah, it's just not delivered in the best way, and I just didn't particularly. They just, I think they also changed his voice. They added like a filter to it. I don't know. It just wasn't his best.
Sure.
Yeah,
I was thinking, did you already do it? I was trying to think. Nah, he didn't do it yet.
I can't believe that
I did.
Like, Danny completely missed that, Aaron. I did not miss it at all.
Wait, what? He did it? What did he say?
Yeah.
He didn't do it. He didn't do it.
I'm going to repeat it.
Do you know what I did? I transitioned track 15, not track 13.
No, you did the right one.
What did he say, Matt?
He said, how do I transition from here? Hands up. Like,
he did not say that.
Yeah, like as in asking a question, hands up if you... He did say it, 100%.
No, he did not. You made that up yourself.
Yeah, I think you made me sound better. I'm going to listen back.
I will
find
bet
out,
my
but
8 years of friendship with both of you that you said exactly what I just said.
No way. You're wrong.
No.
Aaron said.
Pause this recording right now and read
it. Wait, no. I think it's interesting that, Aaron, you said you transitioned to the next one. Did you? What did you say?
Yeah, I did. I said, you read what I wrote, and the next song is what I write.
Nah,
you loser.
You might have said that before you said, how do I transition to the next song, Hands Up?
He didn't say hands up. He never said that.
He did.
Look, I'm going to edit it to make it sound like I did. How do I transition to the next song? Hands up.
After this podcast recording is over, the first thing you need to do is go to however many minutes we're up to right now and like slice that and don't like adjust it at all. Just post it in our messenger group.
I'm going to be honest, Matt. It's probably not the first thing I'm going to do. I'm probably going to head to bed.
Or when you wake up.
Anyway, when I listen to it, I'll get it. But track 14, Hands Up.
I do.
Who wants to kick this one off?
Hand up.
Yeah, I do. All right. All I will say is after an mediocre at best run of a few songs, like the second half of the album for me is like definitely slows down a lot, but like we're back with this track. We are back, and we're back full swing. The instrumental on this is an absolute banger. It comes at just the right time. As I said last track, when I thought everything was winding down, nope, we're picking straight back up. Like this is like This is like Demons vibes, like in terms of like bangers.
Really?
Yeah. I love the heavy drums, the background vocals, and sound effects. It all works. The only criticism I have of the instrumental is once again concerning the outro. It's just not necessary, so scrap it next time. Like it's just like stop putting those shitty outros on. No one wants to hear it. You ruin the song.
But do you see how it makes sense though? Do you understand what its function is?
Yeah, like I think what it's trying to say is he's in jail and now he's writing his rhymes. So it's like it leads into the next track, what I write.
Yeah.
So like
exactly.
I get what its function does, but I don't want to hear it. I just want.
I agree with you 100%. But like I said before, like most of the skits are used to link into the next song.
We'll have them as separate skits then. Don't have them as a part of the song.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
But Matt, one of your favorite things is something that links up the following songs. Like, you know, you've mentioned many times that you love when songs interlink and they start to blend into
You're
one
absolutely
another.
Right. But if it's a banger, I want it to finish as a banger. I don't want it to finish as some shit.
Yeah, true.
Like, you know, I do love a link. I do love a transition, a connection, all that shit. I love it. But, like, yeah, just don't ruin my banger.
I just can't get over that you're calling this a banger.
Yeah, it is. Anyway.
Aaron, are you with me? This is not a banger, is it?
No,
yeah,
this
it is with
a story track.
But the beat does not bang.
The lyrics.
I think it does. But anyway, the hook, I'd usually judge a hook like this one harshly. However, its simplicity and repetitiveness works. It's suitable in the context of this.
No, you're being way too generous again.
I
generous, Matt.
Enjoy the variation between Elzhi and the children's voices in the hook. I think that's nice.
Wait. Can we stop on that as well? Aaron, do you have a different opinion on that hook?
I didn't mind it.
Okay. I don't. You were going to hate it. Like,
yeah.
Freeze! You're joking.
I didn't have a problem with it.
Freeze! Let's see if the people listening to this will have a problem with it. Freeze!
It works in the context.
It's just easy. I'll cut it out.
I can't believe you guys are okay with freeze!
It works.
You guys,
it does work. Fools. I agree.
My favorite, in terms of the verses, this is my favorite story rap song on the album, hands down. He just goes in and goes hard. I love it. The delivery is arguably the best on the album so far also. The content on this track reminds me of something Eminem would write, which I obviously enjoy listening to. And my favorite bars on this song are, "Yo, Gramps, empty the drawer. Oh, please don't shoot. Tell me everything you want. You know I'm out for the loot. Put your hands where I can see them so they look like 12 p.m. On the dot, see this don't make me give these shells freedom." That's nothing but straight up gangster shit right here. This for me brought it back to 5 stars. So I think we have I'm just looking back at my review. We have my first 5-star track since the first half of the album, since Demons. With this
God damn. I'm going to
jump in,
but you go.
Because I've got last a couple of times, so I just want to, mix it up a little bit. I am a big fan of this track. I love the story here. And that reference when he said, I feel like it reminds me of Gimme the Loot not like Gimme the Loot is one of my favorite Biggie songs. It's not as good as Gimme the Loot, but it's good. And I'm pretty sure Matt, in that quote, you said he's looking to get a loot. I feel like that could potentially be a reference.
Well, absolutely. Like after that line in the background, it should have had a sample from that song saying "Give me the loot." Like it should have had that.
No, you have lots of opinions on how they should be fixing up this album.
Mean, now that I'm reviewing all these albums, I'm qualified.
Look, I don't disagree. But yeah, I liked the freeze and the hands up and the kids doing it, the contrast. Yeah, I got nothing to lose. I've been cut and abused. My slut is confused. My bro can't even trust in his strut in his shoes. Like, he's got so many, like, this has funny lines in here, like, where's your car at? I parked it very far. That's not what I asked. Like, it's literally like, yeah, like, and then he's like, you about to make me shoot shots in the mask. Like, he's like, I'm about to shoot you in the face. And he's like, all right, it's in the lights just right outside the back. Let's go there. I will, but why is this gun in my back for? Like, it's just funny. Like, it's funny element, and there's this lighthearted feel to what would otherwise be a fucking horrendous thing to go through as a shop attendant. And just like the back and forth is cool. I like that they talk to one another, and it just adds to the story. They both have opinions. Like, you know, one's scared about going to jail, one's scared about dying and like, you know, getting shot. And just that back and forth is really cool. I just think this concept works. It's a story. And I'm going to give this 5 stars. Like, I've been given a lot of 5 stars, but I've been extremely impressed with what Elzhi has been doing. And I would never skip this track, ever. This goes straight into a playlist. It's so smart. It's funny. It's got the feeling in there. And that hook did not annoy me at all. To me,
for me, was a contender for my favorite song of the album, which I'll reveal at the end.
Ooh. See, this is interesting. That hook, I just can't believe both of you are giving this hook a pass. It's horrendous. It's horrible. It's annoying. The beat, I can't get over that Matt saying this beat is a banger. The beat is extremely basic. It's just drums and a bit of background noise. But I'm not like complaining, because like this is a storytelling song, so you don't really want a beat that distracts you from the lyrics. So I'm okay with it, but it's not a banger.
What's interesting is that his critique of the Dream track, it feels very similar in the way that it's a basic beat. It's not a banger.
Well, this one's definitely not.
And the beat is more of a vehicle for the rap to take over.
But again, with beats, with instrumentals, like I can see how people just have an ear for certain kinds of beats. So I'm more willing to forgive. It might be a banger for him, who knows? But the hook is undeniably annoying as shit. And you're both wrong. It's horrible.
I think, Aaron, what we need to say to Danny at this point is it's fundamentally wrong about the hook. And
I am fundamentally edgy at this moment.
And he needs to go back and listen to it, and like, it might not increase his like rating by much, but maybe by like half. Like, I think.
Well, he's taken my criticisms very personally as well. I like it. But yeah, other than that, like, as you'd expect, Elzhi does a really good job of telling this story of a robbery gone wrong. And like you said, like, it's always fun when rappers play different characters in their story raps. Like, you know, Biggie did it on Give Me the Loot. He plays 2 characters. Elzhi plays both the robber and the shop attendant. So
guilty conscience.
And he does. Yeah, guilty conscience. No. Oh yeah. Eminem does play characters. I thought you meant he was playing Dr. Dre. No, he plays different characters. You're right. Yeah, the whole story is well told. His rapping technique is great as usual. But the hook is actually bad, which is a problem. And like Matt said, the outro, completely unnecessary in terms of being tacked on to the end of this song. But the story is awesome. Like, this is an Aaron song. This is an Aaron song. Am I right? Like, storytelling done really well. That's an Aaron song. It's also like I love story songs. I just think the hook is so annoying that this is forced us.
Please.
Yeah, how annoying is that?
No, but like, I remember we had I'd compare it to like
Don't have a problem
Framed,
with it.
by Eminem. Like,
Of course, you'd compare it to an Eminem song.
like, you know, people would say that the hook in Framed is annoying, but you know, it works because like in the context of the song, this works in the context of this song. Like, you know,
I agree. No, I'm not going to agree that it works. I agree that it suits the song, but it doesn't work.
You don't like the sound of it. You have a problem with the sound of it.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
Like Aaron has a problem with the chipmunk sound on that other song. Like you have a problem.
And you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you say, but that means you have to see where I'm coming from on Savior.
Yeah.
So let's all be best friends.
We are
best friends.
Anybody? All right, track 15.
Yeah,
I already transitioned this one 2 tracks ago. Yeah. Track 15. What did
you write?
Well, I'll tell you exactly.
And don't change a word.
I won't change a word. I'm going to read it word for word, just like our best friend Matt. Heavy drums, short cut of a sample that I love, and that beat is fire. It's just an easy way. Generally, 9 out of 10 times you use a soul sample.
I know, Savior, gotcha.
You got me. Yeah. 9 out of 10 times. That was the 10 out of 10. And just like, I just love just listening to that on the track. And these verses were so good by Elzhi. How many times have I said these verses were so good? Like every time. There's not one song where I'm like, his verses suck. Even in, his love songs, his verses are still good. He still has the technique and he does a great job. I feel like the hook wasn't good in this. Again, it's a long hook. And I just feel like he kind of just doesn't do himself justice in the hook. But the concept is really good about how he writes about different shit, about how he goes and he writes about the streets and about how life is tough. And then he writes about the ladies. And as much as, like, I'm not a huge fan of the second verse,
that's my true verse.
Like, but that's why it's so good, because it's true. And then he goes through all these names. Like, I wrote about my exes, Takara, Alexis, to write about the next miss and how great the sex is. Ones who were sexist, those who throw hexes, crack bexes, and ask you where Lex is. Like, it's just wordplay, and it's so good. And then, he finishes with like a theme. Like, I write about a theme. And this is a song where he's writing about a theme. Like, he nails it. I just am not a huge fan of the hook. And I think that it just takes it down a touch. And I feel like, Matt, you'd love this line. Sometimes I write about a theme from out of a motion picture or something out of a dream. Yeah. Yeah. As soon as
anything about movies.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is a really good track, and I like the outro is the sample and it's repeated. Like, I love that I can just have the beat breathe at the end and I get to enjoy it on its own, so I can see the different layers that it has. I gave this 4.5 stars, just that hook minus half a star.
I see where you're coming from. But like, yes, it's a wordy hook, but at least this time he's trying to deliver it like melodically. So this time, wordy hook, but it actually works because he's sing-songing it. Like, I don't know, it works for me. So I see that how you can downgrade it, but I won't. I agree with you 100%. The sample is chopped to perfection, like the chops specifically. Like Black Milk cuts the vocals at just the right moment. Like there's an art to
Agree.
chopping up a sample, and he nails it here. I love this beat a lot. And the song, it's like, yeah, like you were saying, it's so meta. Like he's rapping about what he raps about. Like, only Elzhi can come up with this kind of shit. Like, it's so funny, and he makes every single verse work. And a lot of the subjects that he's mentioning are subjects we've already heard him rap about on the album.
Yeah.
So placing this song here, like towards the end, it's just perfect. It's a good move. It's a good move.
Perfect.
Like first verse is mostly about the street life. You said the second verse is not. What did you say was not the best? Not.
No, concept wise, like in terms of generally speaking, we don't like raps about women and about girls, but this really works.
Did you say this was the least favorite of the three?
I actually didn't choose my favorite of the three. I thought they all worked together really well.
Because this, like you say, it's about women, and he lists like so many different types of women. From like you picked out that other line. I like it when he goes, from the independent ladies, hookers and the daisies, the sane ones, the crazies, the straight ones, the gays, these. Oh God. He's like, this is my favorite verse of the three. Just the way he's rhyming about women. So
I do like that verse, how it ends. Now will it end when I begin with a wife?
Yes. And that is another concept he will definitely use in the future, if he hasn't already. And then the final verse, like you said, tackles different themes and concepts, which he has clearly demonstrated throughout the album and even on this song. Like, everything works for me, even the hook. 5 stars.
Yeah. I can see that.
However, Matthew is sleeping. He's wake up, please. We're not finished yet.
Mate, I'm awake. I'm just thinking. I'm contemplating how to put this.
All right. Now move way closer to the mic and begin.
This closer.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. What I write is that it's a 4-star track. It is 4 stars. He has a nice flow on the song. I enjoy the content, particularly because it gives listeners an insight into where he gets his inspiration for his lyrics from. My favourite bars are the ones that Aaron mentioned, but I also included the "Or in a chosen scripture, a fictional novel, the wait you alive, so like a revival, Jesus and rival, there's no rival, I'm too diverse, when I do my verse, you die worse." I like that as well. Hook, I believe this is only the second hook I think I've said on this album that I believe Elzhi nails. It's cut smooth and explains Elzhi's writing process as well as how his lyrics affect his listeners. I may be going crazy, but this hook also sounds like one that 50 Cent would write or at least approve of, which is probably why I fuck with it, because we all know 50 is the hook king. So
I just love that the only 2 rappers that you know that exist are 50 Cent and Eminem.
I just know that
he's the novice. He's the novice in the group. He gets to, take the novice point of view.
Yeah. So it's a great hook. I like the instrumental. The combination of the keyboard and drums, like you can bob your head to it. It's a good sound. I like the background vocals, and it has replay value. Again, something I could hear someone like The Game or 50 Cent rapping over once again.
He's mentioned another rapper.
Like,
He knows Greg.
Sounds a little bit like a low-key West Coast beat to me. So I give it 4 stars.
Yeah, I thought you might go higher.
Just it wasn't edgy enough for me to go higher.
Oh, Jesus.
He's done it. Hopefully, his taste can go up a little bit, though.
Heavily sigh into that transition.
I was pausing for dramatic effect. Everyone knew what was coming. Track 16, Growing Up. Danny, you started. Do you want to finish it? This is the last track on the album.
I do. Growing Up featuring A, B, C, D. From the albums we've reviewed so far, just want to make a point. And just in general, I feel like there's some unwritten rule when making a hip-hop album that you have to end with a personal track. Have you guys noticed that? Like every Shane Noir, like Sci-Hi, Royce, they all end in a personal song. So I do as well. I think it works. I just for some reason this album reinforced that point for me because this happens a lot. And like as the title suggests, Elzhi spends a lot of the track talking about what life was like for him growing up. And it doesn't sound like the Bayside suburbs of Melbourne, I can tell you that. Yeah, like he says, he was surrounded by killers, thieves, pimps, hoes and narcs, dead bodies in the alleys, back roads and parks. Like, that doesn't sound like a great place to live, especially when you're a kid anyway. So he talks about all the negative shit that he witnessed and experienced growing up. And all of that stuff is like the best part of the song. I think the beat is just okay, nothing special at all. And I'm really not a fan of the hook. The singing from A, B, C, D isn't great, and it just sounds like he's squealing at certain points, which doesn't sound good at all. Like, this is a bad hook for me. So this wasn't the strongest way to close out the album, unfortunately, and I'm giving it 3.5 stars.
I think I agree with you, Danny. I think I agree because I like the idea behind this. I like finishing with a personal track. But my critique on this is when it's personal, I kind of only want to hear from you. I don't particularly want to hear about someone else on the track. I feel like he could have done it all himself. He didn't need the feature. He could have just done it himself. And he once again, and this is a big critique of mine on everyone, is he doesn't finish the track with his own voice. Instead, he has AB just doing the hook.
I'm joking.
No, I think it's Aaron Abernathy takes after my name, but unfortunately he's not as good as me because he kind of fucks this up. But I just don't like the last word is left to somebody else on an album like this. A good album, it just leaves a sour feel in my mouth. But everything else is good. I like the concept. I like the lyricism. I like that he's telling you about his life. And I always have been a fan of, rappers getting into some personal things. They discuss what influenced them. Thinking about life ain't easy and nothing's fair. My talent for writing songs hid while hanging with the wrong kids who later would live short lives or do long bids. I guess you could say I was saved by hip-hop, young reciting, fuck the police. I got my lip popped. Who'd have thought I'd rise from the bottom to the tip top, rip shop, chilling while the ceiling on my whip drop. He essentially just said it all. Like, he had the potential to go down a pathway that was really bad. and he also said was a young prodigy, which I find cool. Like, who had flows to spark. Like, that's definitely a reference to Prodigy. I just, I like the lyricism, but I think the hook took it away, and for that, I gave it 4 stars.
Did you? Can I? I'm gonna agree with you, Aaron, but I'm scared. I'm scared because, like, I'm feeling judged.
It's 5 stars, baby. It's 5 stars from Matt.
What would you be scared about?
I also think it's 4 stars, but I think it's like, I think when I give 4 stars, like, it's different to how you were like, oh, I'm going to take off a point because of this. Like, I'm not taking off a point because I think there's anything wrong with it. It's just I'm taking off a star because it's not as good as the other 5-star tracks I've given on this album. So, like, that's why I don't find.
Yeah.
That feels like a weird critique to me.
No, not really. I said that to you before with the song. Yeah, you gave that song 5 stars, and I was like, but it's not as strong as the other 5 stars. That's why I didn't.
I guess. All right, okay. I'll let it slide.
Verse-wise, I love this type of content because, I've said this many times before, both of you, like, I love it when rappers write songs like this because it's through listening to those type of songs that I feel like I can, like, connect with them or, like, build a relationship with them, and that in turn encourages me to continue, like, wanting to listen to their music in the future. So, like, it gives me an insight into, like, who they are as a person. Like, I think that content's really good. I think Royce finished his Allegory album with a personal track as well, and I think I remember giving that 5 stars and convincing Aaron to give that track 5 stars when he hadn't given any other tracks 5 stars on the album. So, like, I'm all for them. My favorite bars are the ones that you mentioned, Danny. The opening lines, I think that paints a picture of what it would have been like for Elzhi. AB's hook has grown on me, although I didn't like it initially. I like the motivational message. It connects with the concepts explored in the song. I like AB's voice when they're singing. Like, that's pleasant. However,
what about when he's squealing?
However, that is my gripe with the song. And I'll get to that in a moment because I categorize that as a part of the instrumental, not a part of the hook. Although it might not be a perfect hook, it delivers what it does deliver. It delivers reasonably well. Instrumental wise, the beat, I think, is really cleverly put together because it has, like, a reflective and soulful trip down memory lane feel to it. So I think it's obviously suitable for the song. It concludes the album nicely. I'm never disappointed when an album finishes with a song like this or an instrumental like this. It just feels like it's tying it up in a neat little package. I like the strong drums and the violin-esque sound from the instrumental. However, I'm not a fan of the high-pitched background vocals. They detract entirely from the song's smoothness. I can understand, though, I can see how the vocals were, like, they're intended to be like a transition into the hook. But they're very abrupt and they just interrupt, like I said before, that smooth vibe, and it doesn't work at all. So I don't like that. That would be the one thing I have with it. So yeah, 4 stars though. Still a solid finish to the album.
And we've done it.
We've done it. We've gone through, but now the final touch, I think we need to sum it up and give our final reviews, favorite track, favorite instrumental. What do you reckon?
I reckon.
You reckon what?
Well,
Danny, all right. Go first. This is your, like, baby.
This is my child. All right, I'll sum it up like this. I think it's clear from listening to the album that Elzhi is an extremely talented and creative rapper, and this is a very solid album. I think the production from Black Milk is incredibly consistent, and it sounds great for the most part. I'm not going to say every song is amazing, like from a production standpoint, but it's very consistent and an enjoyable sound throughout. All of the featured rappers were good additions to the album. It's only really the singers who were brought in for like hook duties that didn't really impress me. But like most of the guest rappers did a really good job, and I think 2 of them, maybe even 3 of them, had my favorite verses over Elzhi's in a couple of tracks. It's not a perfect album. It could be much tighter, to be honest. Like, you could trim the fat a little. I think, like in my opinion, if you could remove songs like Brag Swag, Yeah, and Growing Up, you would have an even stronger, tighter album. Like, none of those songs are even bad, but if you take them off, I don't think the album would lose anything that makes it special. And with like the shorter running time, it would be maybe like easier to digest in one sitting. It'd just be a stronger project from start to finish. You just remove a couple of songs. There were also some hooks, obviously, that I would either remove or, at least alter in some way. But those are basically nitpicks of a great album. And like for me, like there's actually not a bad song on this album for me. I know you guys gave a 2-star song, but for me, literally there was nothing less than 3.5 stars. Like I can't even say that about Sci-Hi or Flatbush Zombies, because they all had like 2 and 2.5 star songs. So, favorite song, Motown 25, by far. That will never, ever change. That song is amazing in every way. Favorite instrumental. This is definitely subject to change. Like, I've had various different favorites over the years. But over the last 3 weeks, and I was going to say, believe it or not, I was going to say Savior as my favorite. But the song that I come back to the most in these last 3 weeks that I put in my playlist and have listened to the most is What I Write. Just for that.
Really?
Yeah, that beat, I don't know, on this listen through, that is the song that I really connected with. And that also might be because previously I've listened to other songs way more. Like Savior has more, I have a higher play count of Savior, of Motown 25, of Guessing Game, of Colors. I have a higher play count of those. So What I Write is like almost new in comparison listening to this.
Yeah.
So that's the one that I've been listening to the most. Favorite lyrics from Guessing Game. I had this girl in my bed, and every time she opened up her mouth, she was giving me head.
Yeah.
No one finished my lyrics. You guys suck.
Fed up.
Aches. No, it's head aches.
Oh.
You guys stink. Now, here we go. So, using Matthew's mathematical formula for calculating the overall album rating, after adding up all the individual song ratings, dividing it by the square root of the lowest prime number, carrying the 1, and applying the golden ratio, the final album rating comes out to be exactly 4.5 stars out of 5. So that is what I'm going with. 4.5 stars out of 5 for this album. Amazing. Really good job.
Matt, do you want to go?
I do. Favorite album instrumental, track for Motown 25. Favorite album song, track 8, Demons.
Interesting.
Favorite album lyrics from track 8, Demons. Got us paranoid, stepping out very cautious, the same way we holding guns, nuns carry crosses. For protection against the evil forces. Of course there's subjections in your cerebral cortex, the demon.
Ooh.
That is my favourite album lyrics. And, given the formula, this scored a very round 64 out of 80 possible stars to give it 80%, therefore exactly 4 out of 5 stars.
Wow. I thought it would have been lower than that.
Yeah.
You were very harsh at certain periods in the album.
Yeah.
But also very generous. Like, he gave the intro 5 stars.
True.
So it evens out.
Yeah.
Well, I'll bring this baby home. So I was extremely impressed on the many listens that I had of this album. And I had 8 5-star tracks in this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is huge. Half the songs were 5 stars. And very few were anything lower than 4 stars.
Yeah.
So I gave it 2.5 stars as an album.
What?
This is
Wait, you said 2.5 stars.
4.5 stars as an album. Whoops.
Very good.
4.5 stars as an album. This is, in my opinion, the best album that we've reviewed so far in terms of just the overall experience and the production and the lyrical miracle. I think that this has way less flaws, and Elzhi has way less flaws. You can see that he's been working on his craft for a long period of time.
Yeah.
In terms of my favorite instrumental, I actually struggled with this because I fluctuated between Motown, Transitional Joint, and What I Write.
Oh.
But I'm going to go with Motown.
Yes.
I just think that it has the longevity to just go on for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And as for favorite track, at this stage, it's actually Guessing Game. Because I just love the concept. Like, I just go back to it.
Yeah.
But Motown 25 is closely behind. I can definitely see a time where Motown 25 is my favorite. I'm just at the moment really enjoying Guessing Game and just vibing and just making other people guess and just going through and knowing it all and just the punchlines. My favorite lines, much like you, Danny, in Guessing Game, where she gives me head aches.
Hey.
This album is littered with quotables. You could choose so many here and not go wrong at all. I just think this is a fantastic album.
Hell yeah.
So 4.5 stars.
4.5 stars.
4.5 and 2 from Matt. So
No, I thought it was 2.5 from Aaron.
yeah, 2.5 from Aaron.
2.5 from me.
Secret album rating, 2.5.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Always take away 2 stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Thanks for listening to the show. Please like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram at @the_Slim Fitty Biggie Committee, and stay tuned for our next podcast. Bye for now.